Okay, so let's talk about required software. You will need to have access to a computer to be able to fully participate in this course. It could be a personal computer, it could be a family computer, a laptop, or a desktop, but you'll need to have a computer and a reliable internet connection. Um, if you don't have access to a computer, CR has a limited amount of computers that can be checked out, and you would have to contact CR, which you can do through the library, and you could also go and check out that online resources link that I demonstrated to you earlier or in the last video. Okay, so once you have that computer, you will need to download a few different programs. First and most importantly, you'll need to download the ArcGIS desktop version 10.81. We are fortunate enough to have student licenses for everybody. This is kind of an amazing resource for you all to have on your personal computers. The license is good for a year, and you basically have full access to ArcGIS Desktop, so that gives you ArcMap, ArcCatalog, ArcAdministrator, I believe, and a couple more. Either way, this is advanced technology, and you'll be able to not only use it in the course, but I would highly encourage everybody to explore the program as much as possible when you have access to it. Okay, so let's say that you have a personal computer, but it's not compatible with the ArcGIS software. Let's say you have a Mac. Unfortunately, Macs are not compatible with that software. And so if that is the case, you must get a hold of me the first week of class via email and let me know and explain to me why you don't have access to a computer with the required software, and hopefully I will be able to get you set up with either College of the Redwoods virtual lab or the virtual lab at HSU. So there is extremely limited space in these virtual labs, and so if you have access to a personal computer that is able to run the GIS software, then this option is not for you. You need to be working from your own computer. This is for students who either have MacBooks or a different type of computer that will not allow you to run that GIS software. And so basically what a virtual lab is you would have an access code which would allow you to work remotely to one of the lab computers, either at College of the Redwoods or at CR, and you would be accessing that through the internet. So again, you still need to have a reliable internet connection. And so yeah, you would just be accessing those computers, which would have all of the required software on it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Canvas course page and the syllabus so we can look at the full requirements needed. So I am on the full unabridged syllabus page, and I've scrolled down to the technical requirements section, which is under the required materials section, and just below the textbook requirements. So once you navigate to here, you will be able to see the different programs that you will need to have installed on your computer, and then your computer itself will have to have these different elements. So your operating system should be Windows 7, Windows 8, 10, or higher. The processor needs to be 2 gigahertz or higher. You need to have 8 gigabytes of RAM. You can technically get away with less than that, but I wouldn't recommend anything less, just as far as all the different types of files we're going to have to download and run. It would be better if you had 8 gigabytes. You also will need to have NVIDIA and AMD to be able to work properly with some of the Esri ArcGIS extensions. If this is not something that you have, so basically it's your graphics card, and this is something that you could find on the computer itself, or if you still have, you can just look up your computer model on Google as well, and it'll pretty much tell you how to navigate to this kind of information or what your computer has. You also need 60 gigabytes of free disk space. As far as plugins, you'll need to have Adobe Reader, and you'll need to have Java 1.7 or later, and there's a couple of links here to both the Adobe Reader and that Java link. You will need speakers to be able to hear all of the lecture videos. Also, all of the lecture slides will be put up on Canvas as well, along with the, we do have options to be able to, let's say you're hard of hearing and you need to have a transcribed version of the lectures. There's different ways to access that as well. If that is something that you will be needing, please contact me and I'll explain how to get that. And also your monitor will have to be capable of at least 1024 by 768 resolution. All right, so as far as all the different software that you'll need to be installing, we'll get to ArcGIS in just a second. I'll take you to where you can find an instructional video on how to download that yourself. And so 7-Zip is a zipping software. A lot of the files and data that we use are quite large and therefore have been zipped. And so you need to have a quick and easy zipping software to be able to decompress and compress all of that, all those files. Because not only will you be downloading data from the internet, but you'll be uploading your assignments into Canvas, and sometimes they will need to be zipped. So they have this link here will take you to 7-Zip, the 7-Zip website, and then there is a short video here explaining how to install that on your computer. You'll also need Microsoft Office. So if you can have access to the full version, I would recommend that. Though CRs is providing a free student version and it's online of Microsoft Office, so that includes Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. You'll need to be able to run all of those programs on your computer. And if this is something that is not within your reach, please let me know. There are a few different options. Like I said, there's that free online version, and if necessary and there's codes available, you'll be able to access the virtual lab at College of the Redwoods and then be able to run those programs that way. You'll also need Adobe Acrobat, and you'll need to be able to save your maps in PDF form. So this is a link here to that free version as well. You'll also be needing to download Zoom. We will be using Zoom quite a bit in this course. If you schedule any office hours, all of those interactions with me are going to be via Zoom. The Open Lab that I talked about in the last video is also via Zoom. And we will also be having periodic guest lectures throughout the course, which you'll learn about when you go over the syllabus, hopefully soon. And so I'll let you know when I get those scheduled. I'll try to give you a couple of weeks advance notice if possible. But basically they'll be on Tuesdays from 6 to 7 with a member of the community where they'll be presenting the work that they've done within the GIS field, and you'll need to be able to zoom into that. So all of these here are links that'll take you directly to those websites where you'll then be able to download that software on your own. Okay, so if you go to the lecture page, which you've hopefully navigated to since you've gotten to this video, we'll go back to home and we'll go to module 1 here. And as you can see, we have a brief discussion of what we're going to be going over this week with everything that is due, and each module, like I said in the last video, is broken up into 2 weeks. And so I do ask that you guys stay on the current week, even though each module has 2 weeks worked into it, but you'll notice that if you try to work ahead, a lot of the assignments and information won't be available until that week of instruction starts anyways. So I brought you here to show you that if you go to the watch lecture link here, it'll take you to not only this video, but it has 2 videos here. One of them is instructions on how to install ArcGIS on your personal computer, and then there's that instructional video on how to install 7-zip as well. And so this video does say ArcGIS 10.5.1, but when you get to the Esri website, you'll actually be downloading the 10.81 version of ArcGIS Desktop. So just to wrap things up really quickly, like I mentioned earlier in the last video, we do have a couple of things that will be due through Canvas this week. So not only do you have to make sure that you get that required text, you need to make sure that you get all the software downloaded onto your computer, and then you will need to participate in the first discussion, which is create your trading card, and that is going to be due next Tuesday on September 1st by 11:59 p.m. And you will also be required to take the syllabus quiz by the end of week 1. And failure to take this quiz, you will risk being dropped from the class. This is extremely important. The syllabus is full of all different kinds of resources. It explains class policies. So in the future, if you have any questions about due dates, late policy, like expected workload for the course, stuff like that, it's all in there. It's content heavy, and so I created this quiz to make sure that you're going through all of it and you're able to navigate through the syllabus well and know where certain things are located. So here we are again on the home page. When you're ready to begin a module, you'll go and click on the module that we're working on currently, which right now is Module 1. And again, it gives a brief discussion of everything that needs to be completed for that module. And we'll just scroll down really quickly, and you'll see we'll have a reading requirement, a watching requirement, your discussion, a check your understanding where we have that syllabus quiz, and an apply your knowledge type of deal. And you can see here we have the same setup with everything that, so you'll have your required readings, the lecture videos to watch, your discussion. We'll have a quiz, and then for that second week, we'll have our first lab assignment. But let's just focus on that first week. So you've already made it to those lecture videos, so I'll just get you there, though the same thing is at the bottom of this page as well. So once you're done with the lecture videos, you'll scroll down to the bottom and you'll click that next link here, and it'll just take you through each of the pages of that module where you're going to have your discussion, which we can see here. The discussion assignment this week is an icebreaker where we are going to be doing a little introduction of ourselves, creating what we call a trading card. And so all the instructions are here. One quick thing about discussions is that it's really important to participate earlier on in the week, preferably before Friday of each week, because as a part of the discussions, as we could see here, you are required to reply to at least 2 other students' posts. And so we want to make sure that we are participating earlier on in the week to make sure that there's enough time for everyone to reply to at least 2 other people, and they're not just all condensed into the people who participated earlier. Okay, so the last thing that we're going to talk about is that syllabus quiz. And so we scroll to the bottom and we click next, and it takes you to the quiz. And so the quiz is going to be based off of that full course syllabus, but it may include information of the syllabus page and the home page, and all of those are linked here, and they could be found easily navigating through the course Canvas site as well. Hopefully by the time you take the quiz, you'll be a little bit more familiar with how the course site is set up. So you will have 30 minutes to complete the quiz, and you have 2 attempts where the highest score will be kept. All right, well, that wraps up everything that I need to cover for this video. I really look forward to working with you all this semester, and if you have any questions, you could either post to the question and answer forum or you could email me directly. Hope to work with you soon.